Hey, this is Matt from InvestiQuant. Today is Wednesday, December 3rd, 2020. And this morning, when I was going through the bias alerts, looking at things that may be setting up at the open, I noticed an interesting one as we trade here right around yesterday's low. So if you haven't seen these bias alerts, the bias alerts are built into our platform to give you ideas to look at on a daily basis. Some of them are quite strong, and the one I wanted to show you this morning is one of them that I found interesting with a strong bias here historically to it. And it's based upon a pattern of falling volatility in a bull market and then opening below the prior day low. I'm going to go ahead and click on it here. So it's already built out in the bias alerts to where all you got to do is just click on the view strategy backtest and discover, and this will load this study right into your discover platform, and then you can dig into it on your own as you wish. But let me click this here from the bias alerts and load this long bias VIX above 10 and above 200. So what this pattern looks at is when the 5-day moving average of the VIX is less than the 25-day moving average of the VIX. So that's showing, a little bit of a lower volatility period or a falling volatility period when in a bullish environment, which is defined as above a 10 and above a 200-day simple moving average. So kind of an indicator pattern that's taken place here, and then opening below the prior day low when those conditions are true. So this is the S&P. And these are the results for going long at the open of regular trading hours, which is 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, exiting at the close, which is 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time, when this pattern is in play. And you can see we've got 178 samples here in the S&P dating back to 2003. And historically, it's got a very strong win rate on those 178 samples. So 65% of these have ended up closing above the opening print. And if I come into the symbols and settings up here, I can take this same bias alert that's already pre-built into the platform, and I can apply it to the other instruments. So let me click symbol and settings and bring these other instruments into the study, and we'll take a look at all 4 of them together. So I've clicked all of those. You can see same setup here, which is based upon getting long at the open, which is 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and exiting at the close. So let me click view results here to see them all. All right, so here we go. Now, this is the same pattern which I described earlier, which is you're in a bull market defined as above a 10 and above a 200-day simple moving average. And the VIX moving averages, so just a moving average of the VIX, the 5-day moving average of the VIX is less than the 25-day moving average of the VIX. The opening print is below the prior day low. Right now, that is true at the time of this recording, so I'm thinking this has a decent chance of signaling this morning. But if it does, the results here on the far right, we've already seen the S&P results, the 178 samples, 65% win rate on those. NASDAQ, similar sample size, 146 samples. The Dow, 191 samples. And the Russell has the fewest sample sizes at 104. But all of them have a decent sample size. The S&P is the strongest of the group at 65% of these closing above the opening print. The NASDAQ is still favored at 60%. The Dow favored at 60%, and the Russell about 58%. So all 4 of these have leaned towards the long side, and the S&P has been the strongest historically. Real quick look at average win, average loss. The average loss is a little bit bigger than the average win in the S&P. That's also true for the NASDAQ. The Dow is fairly similar in size, and then the Russell, a little bit larger average win than average loss. But historically, when it comes to the win rates, they have all been pretty favored, with the ES being the best of the group. So hopefully you found that helpful. If you're using the platform, again, that's found in the alerts section. If you just click on the alerts, you go to the bias alerts, which are the ones that are pre-built in here. You can find that by looking for the ES. We've got a bunch of them in here, so there's lots to look at. Go to the ES. This is an intraday open setup, and use the opening filter, open below prior day low. If you filter through all those, that'll just bring you down to the ones that are applicable for a setup at the open and opening below the prior day low for today. And at the open, if we open below the prior day low, we'll see these opening filters here turn green, which would mean that it is true for today. So that's there in the bias alerts if you want to take a look at that on your own. Good luck today, and we will see you next time.